So you're joining me today at a brand new venue. Never actually seen it before, Barbie Banks Fishery, but I've heard so much about it. I've had some great info from Joe Carras. He's basically told me that it's quite a simple place to fish. It's all carp we're fishing for, and it's a snake lake, so he's basically told me to fish hard pellets. So my general approach for today is fishing hard pellets short. I'm going to fish hard pellets in the edge and hard pellets across, but I do fancy having a plumb around in the edges, trying to find some shallow water, maybe soak up some micros, mix up some meaty mussel ground bait, and try and catch those fish in real shallow water, because everywhere I've been going at the moment, the fish seem to be loving coming into the shallow water. So yeah, like I said, it's a brand new venue for me. I love going to brand new venues because it's a little bit unknown. Sometimes when you go to a venue often, you sort of know after you draw. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. It's a Tuesday open. There's quite a few here. It's probably like 25 here, which is a great turnout. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I'm going to go and do the draw in about 5 minutes, and fingers crossed for a good one and I can catch a few fish. The sun's out, so where else would I want to be? Right, so we're at a peg. I've drawn peg 39. Initial thoughts is most people said it's not the greatest of the pegs. The lad there said to me 38 and 39 are the worst two pegs in the lake. So but I've got to be honest though, it looks mint. It looks lovely. The only thing that what most people have said is that you need to be able to get in shallow water, and this peg here you can't. It's like 3 foot in the edge, so maybe fishing shallow, fishing off the bottom might be a possibility. So yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. There's loads of fish in there by the sounds of things. So, and it would have been a bit like I wouldn't want to come in and just draw the best peg, and yeah, it'd be nice. It's a bit of a challenge. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little plumb up. I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna get my bait out, get a couple of rigs on, have a good plumb up, because by the sounds of things, speaking to Joe and speaking to a few of the others, finding the right depth is really important. So I'm gonna spend quite a bit of time plumbing up, try and find a bit of a shallow water, and yeah, go from there. But we haven't got a long time to set up. I think we start at 10, so we've only got an hour and a bit, so I better get a move on. So we are at our peg 39, and all the locals were dead right. It is very deep. So in the edge there, it's just under 3 foot, which is a little bit deeper than what I wanted. I spoke to Joe, and what he said was coming away from the bank and finding 2 foot, but obviously it's very, very deep here, so I can't do that. It's a little bit deeper than what I wanted. We've got just over 4.5 foot on the short line as well, where I'm going to be fishing a short kit and a short number 3. So in general, my edge and short line is just a little bit too deep from what I wanted. But across, plums up lovely. We've got about 26 inches, which is nice, just over 2 foot. So I fancy catching a few over there. I do fancy hooking a few with short and in the edge, but with that extra bit of depth, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to catch them really, really well. The only other option I've got, which is looking very, very good to me, is just loose feeding casters, because every time I come to a venue like this and you get these conditions where it's warm, it's bright, it's flat, loose feeding casters can be really good. So that's what I'm going to do basically. I've got my pellet lines across, I've got a pellet line short, a pellet line in the edge, and then at some point, if there's a few muggers about, if there's a few fish showing and I can't catch properly on the bottom of pellets, what I'm going to do, just on the far edge of where those reeds just hang over, I'm just going to loose feed casters, which is about 11 to 12 meters away. So really, really simple. Hopefully I won't have to pick my catapult up and loose feed casters, and I can just nick a few fish short edge and across on pellets, hopefully. But if it's all not going to plan, then I'll pick the catapult up, start loose feeding casters, and maybe catch shallow. But yeah, because I don't know it and the guys said it's not the greatest of pegs, I'm just going to keep it really, really simple. Just try and catch a few fish, have a day out, and yeah, just enjoy it. Right, so bait on the day. We have got, to start off with, some lovely 4mm Sonubaits hard pellets. Now that's what I'm probably going to be feeding short and in the edge. I'm fishing with a 6mm on the hook. I had some great info before I come, and a lot of people have said to me 6mm pellets here are really, really good. So what I'm going to probably do to start off with is loose feed 4s, shortening the edge, but then when I go across, I'm going to tap in some 6mm Sonubaits hard pellets. What I have brought though is the new Sonubaits mega hard pellets as well, mega cart pellets, because I know how good these pellets can be. So maybe when I go across, I can start on my hard pellets, but I'm going to definitely give these a go because I know how much the fish love eating them. They're really high protein, high oil, which is perfect for this time of year. So I've got that as an option as well. I have soaked up some Sonubaits Fin Perfect 2mm. Now the reason why I've done that is because if I am feeding hard pellets and I can't catch loose feeding casters, really the only other option is just to feed some 2mm and just try and get some fish in your peg. My peg looking like it's going to be a bit too deep for that, but I've just soaked them down, just going to strain them off like that, and then they'll be ready to pot in. If I've got to do that, I'm probably struggling a little bit, but it's always good to have them soaked up just in case you can't catch a lot. And then last but not least, I hope I don't have to go down this route, but I've got some casters and I've got some dead maggots. Loose feeding casters with 3 dead red maggots on the hook can be absolutely brilliant when you're fishing shallow. So that's the baits I've brought. Pretty simple really. Hopefully I won't have to bother with casters and maggots and I can just stick to my hard pellets. I have got my 2mm, almost like my hard pellets, that's if I'm having a good day, and then if I'm not having a good day, I'll resort back to this little bit here. Rig wise, so really simple. I've just plumbed up Matrix stubby slims on all my lines. So in the edge I've gone for a 0.3 stubby slim. My short line, because it's a little bit deeper, I've gone for a 0.4 stubby slim, but they're really, the thing I like about these floats, you can just use them in all the different depths. You can start off with 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and just adjust it to whatever depth you're fishing in. So yeah, like I said, 0.3 in the edge, 0.4 short, 1.8mm bristle, 0.8 carbon. They just work lovely when you're fishing with hard pellets and you want your float to settle really quickly, because they're quite a short bristle, short stem. When you drop them in, they just go boom and settle really quickly, which is important when you're fishing with hard pellets, because hopefully we'll be catching a few fish on the drop. My shallow rig for casters, if I do have to do it, it's just a 0.2 shallow dibber. I've just got 3 number 9s just spread out underneath the float. Hopefully on this rig, if I do start catching on it, I'll just be swinging it around my bait, in my bait, just trying to mug fish on the outside. So what I've done is I've just left a 30-inch line between my pole tip and my float. Yeah, and that's it really. That's all I've set up. A shallow dibber and stubby slims for all my lines. 0.2 stubby slim across, 0.3 stubby slim in the edge, and a 0.4 stubby slim short. Really simple. Don't want to overcomplicate it. Just enjoy my fishing more when I keep it simple and catch a lot more fish. So yeah, ready, good to go. Bait and rig sorted. Fingers crossed I can catch a few fish. So that's it, all in. I had a very late change of plan. I was going to start across, but I was just sat here waiting for the start of the match and I saw some bubbles just pop up short. So I've just decided to start short. I've plumbed up on a 2-metre kit plus a short 3, and it's just over 4 foot deep there. So what I've done, I've just started on a 6mm pellet and I've thrown literally 8 6mm in. I'm just going to start there, just give it like 5 minutes and just see if I can get any indications. If I don't get an indication, then what I'll do is I'll go straight across. But I have seen it before on lakes like this, where you're fishing for carp on like a snake lake style place, and it's just starting short just past your keep nets can be absolutely brilliant. No, not yet. I just literally want to go in on one line, just feed some pellets and just see what happens. Because I don't want to go start feeding other lines when I do fish this line, if I work out that just putting a few pellets in is right, I don't want to go in on another line and build it up as such. I just want to go in and just want to have a little feel for it to start off with. But what I've had then, I was just literally sat there then, and my float's just gone like that. So there's obviously, oh, there we go, there's one. It was obviously a liner, but then obviously we've had this bite. Don't feel like a big fish. But that's why I like starting short, because that can happen. You just pop in, like boom, get one, get two, and then don't feed anywhere else, and you can have a really good start. So, not a big fish. I don't know how big the fish are in here, to be honest. I never really asked how big the fish are. But that's not a big fish. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I can go in for the whole 5 hours and just catch one or two up there, but I don't think that's going to happen. So just going to feed like 8 pellets again, right on my float. And just see how long we can catch for there. And the thing is about it, the good thing is about starting short, if I go in there and have like a mega run, have like a real good run, say catch like 6, 8, 10, I can go straight in the edge and do the same thing. Look, see there's bubbles just past my float, that's a really good sign that. Shows that there's some fish coming into it. Because whenever I've been to venues like this in the past, fishing across can be quite tricky. Like the fish can come into your bait and they can be quite hard to catch. Just had another little liner then, so that's telling me that maybe when I threw those pellets in then, the fish have popped up off the bottom. Which, with the temperature we got at the moment, I do expect the fish to pop up at some point. Alright, so that's a nice little start. We had that one, I just dropped straight back in. I had one little liner, and then just sat there out of the blue, it's just gone, got it. So, that's how you want it. I don't want to be foul looking fish, I don't want to have liners. I just want to go in, feed a couple of pellets. Gonna have to be a little bit brutal here with them, because just down to my right I've got a tree that looks like it will take my rig every time. So it's a rig taker and a heartbreaker. So I'm going to have to be quite brutal with them around the net area. That's a good start. 2 straight away on hard pellets. What I might do is this chunk, just before I feed my 8 pellets short, I might just chuck like 5 or 6 pellets in the edge, because it'd be so nice just to fish short all day, not have to ship over. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll go back in now, throw 8 pellets, throw a few in the edge, and then try and bounce off each other. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you're only feeding 10 baits, I think you just want it right on your float, or maybe just past your float. So the fish are coming in and building confidence before they get to your hook bait. But yeah, that's why I'm throwing them overhand. At that distance with a 2 metre kit and a short free, if I throw them underhand, they tend to spread. But if I just pick them up and I gather them in my fingers and just throw them like a dart, I just found fishing that distance, like especially with like luncheon meat and stuff at like Tunnel Barn, you've got to be really on your float. So I found that's the best way of doing it. Be calling me Luke Littler by the end of the day. Oh, that was a little bite. Yeah, just hold it out of the water, let it all drop in and then just hold your float dead still.
Dead depth as well.
Yeah, I've just plumbed up to the bottom of my body, how I always do. That always seems good, that sort of depth. I just think you know when you're getting you know when you've plumbed up right, when you get the right bites. It'll just be sat there and it'll just go whoop really quickly, you know, and that's when you know you've plumbed up correctly. But it's a little bit of a slow start. I'm just looking around now and no one's really caught anything. So we've got an hour done. Not gonna lie, it's pretty slow at the moment. I've dropped in short. I caught 2 little ones straight away, then I foul hooked one. That come off. I had a quick look in the edge after, but nothing, no bites. I caught 1 little tench. So I thought I'd go across, and I gotta be honest, like every time I put any bait in across, you get fish in your peg but you can't catch them. They seem to be coming to the noise of the bait, but it's a little bit too deep. If it was like 12 or 16 inches over there, I'm sure I might be able to catch them, but it's like 26 inches and they're coming in my peg, but they're coming in off the bottom. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is just ping a few pellets and like plop a pellet in there, but that doesn't seem right either. Guy up to my left, he's got this big willow tree coming into the water, and he's literally pushing his pole to the edge of the willow tree, and he's just overshotting to the edge of the willow tree, and he's catching really well. So I've got some fish in my peg, but they're very difficult to catch. I think you sort of, in this circumstance, you need 2 options. You either got what he's got there, where you overshot or fish shallow to the edge of it, or you can get in shallow water. That's your 2 options, but unfortunately I ain't got either of them here. So what I'm going to have to do is come up with a cunning plan in a minute of just trying to catch some fish. The guys to my right aren't catching a lot at all, similar to me, but he's catching really well. So there are fish over there, but I'm just going to try and think of a way of catching them. The one thing I do think that could be good is casters. Just pouching casters against that cover I've got there and fishing shallow up to it. I don't fancy fishing overshotted to it. I fancy fishing just like a normal dibber. But we'll see. Not going quite to plan at the moment. I've only got like 10-11 pound in the net, but it's a 6-hour match. There's obviously a lot of fish in here. It could all change very quickly. So we are, how far are we in now? We are in, just coming up to 2 hours. Not gonna lie, it's pretty slow. A few people did tell me before I come that usually the first couple of hours can be quite slow and then it just picks up. Fishing across has been a bit of a nightmare. Basically, my peg's like 26 inches deep across there, and every time I feed, the fish are coming in shallow, but when I fish shallow for them, I can't catch them. So I've just dropped back in on my short line, caught 2 there, and I just dropped in the edge and caught that one pretty much straight away. So I think personally, and I have started loose feeding casters now to that cover. Basically, if I'm going to do any good here now, I think I'm just going to have to fish short in the edge and maybe have a quick, every now and again, have a quick look on these casters, because I just feel trying to catch them across in 26 inches of water with hard pellets when they're as clever as this, it's just not going to happen. So yeah, that's got 4, obviously, because it's a 6-hour match. I've got 4 hours to go, so it's a long way to go yet, but yeah, clicker is £20. So yeah, definitely, it doesn't look like there's going to be some big weights today though. Like everyone I can see to my right is catching absolutely nothing. Guy to my left is catching well, fishing to that tree. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big weight today, unless there's other people. Obviously I don't know it, so unless there's other people catching, but I don't think I'm going to catch a massive weight here. But if I can just keep nicking an odd fish short, maybe get a little arrival on casters, you never know. Maybe still a decent weights on the cards. Yeah, of course, yes, 4 hours. You can catch a massive weight in 4 hours, you know? And like venues like this, they could just switch on like that. And on my short and in my edge line, when I have had a bite, the fish seem quite, not easy to catch, but it's nice. So yeah, and especially, the thing is about it, whenever you go to a venue and you loose feed casters, at any point, you could just go, they could see a swirl, go out there and just get one every chuck, so it does give you a chance. It might not happen today, but there is always a chance. I've got a little bit of cover over there. I've been loose feeding, so it only takes for them to rock up on it and you can get one every chuck. Like on Saturday at Hayfield, all of a sudden I was feeding them, and all of a sudden it was just solid, you know, so it could happen here. But I'm just going to keep nicking an odd fish and hopefully it will slowly improve. So we are, how far are we in now? We are in 2 hours, so we're in 2 hours and 50 minutes in. Gotta be honest, it's slowly getting better now. I've just decided now to keep it simple. I'm just gonna fish short with my pellets, down the edge with my pellets, and then across with my casters shallow. And basically I can go in on each line now and just catch 1 or 2 fish. So I've got to be quite responsive. I've got to be quite responsive in where I am, like just keep swapping and changing my lines. Like I can't just sit on a line and expect to just keep getting bites, but we are starting to put a few fish in the net now. So what are we up to? That'd take me to 40. I've probably got about £45 now, which has took me a long time to get there, but at least I've got there. And I do feel like my peg's improving now. The 3 guys I can see to my right aren't really catching much. The guy to my left still catching a few, but I'm guessing there's probably going to be people in other parts of the lake catching well, but you never know. And I do feel like my peg's better than what it was the first couple of hours. So it's starting to look up. The fish are a little bit crazy in there. Not going to lie, when you hook them and that, they do go a bit mental. I don't know if it's because it's bright and flat, maybe, but it is definitely starting to improve. I mean, I've swapped to 4 mils now short with a 6 mil on the hook, because I foul looking odd when I was feeding 6 mils, and I thought I'll just start feeding 4 mils and have a 6 mil on the hook, so I got a bit more of a standout bait on the hook. And the last 2 I've hooked seem to have been bang in the mouth. So, oh, what's that now? It's not the species we're looking for, but maybe those 4 mils might bring some of them in. So I might have to swap back to 6s if I still get that. But it is improving. What have we got? Still got 3 hours to go. We've got ages. So you could quite easily put another £150 in the net the last 3 hours if it all kicks off. And we've got 40 odd pound already, so starting to quite enjoy it now, a little bit more than the first 2 hours. First 2 hours were really slow. Couldn't get any bites on anything. But we're making some improvements, keeping it simple, as I don't know the venue. So yeah, I think I'm doing all right at the moment. Definitely not winning. That guy to my left, his peg looks amazing though. He's got an aerator. He's got a great big willow tree. And he's just overshot into that tree, and he's catching quite well, to be fair. So fair play to him, he's doing a good job. I just got to see if I can catch a few more the last 3 hours and see where it goes. Right, so we are What are we on now? 2.5 hours to go. It's pretty tough, not gonna lie. Like, I go in on a line, you catch a fish, you might get a second one if you're lucky, and then you've got to change lines again. Like, I've got to be really quickly and think about how much time I'm spending on each line. Because if you just go in after your second fish and just sit there, you'll just sit there forever not getting another bite. So I've literally gone ding ding, nick 2 down the edge, nick 2 short, nick 2 shallow, and I'm just rotating it now. I think probably if I was on a stronger peg, or if the fishery was fishing a little bit better, probably what would happen is that you go in on a line and you catch, like, instead of catching 2, you catch like 10. But still quite enjoying it though. There's no one's really catching loads of fish. The 3 guys to my right aren't really catching much at all, so that might be a reflection about how the whole venue's fishing, you know. So what I'm doing with my casters at the moment, I'm just putting my rig on, stopping there like a top 4 out, loose feed my casters twice, and what I've got a little bit of cover across there. I've got my dibber set at 12 inches and I'm literally swinging my rig in like that and just trying to make a plop with a pellet on the hook. What I found was if I put casters on the hook, I just caught quite a few small fish. So I'm still loose feeding casters, but I'm fishing with a pellet on the hook and I'm just plopping it in against that cover, and I've just caught, oh yeah, that seems quite good now, to be fair. So just loose fed twice, swing your rig in, make a little plop with your hook bait, and that seems all right at the moment. Yeah, it's like, obviously I don't come here, and these fish are a little bit mental, not gonna lie, Al. But like, God, they know exactly what to do to get off the hook. Yeah, I got a tree just down to my right and I got a bush down to my left. So I know it might look a bit brutal, but unfortunately that's how I'm gonna have to be today. But I'm a lot happier now though, a lot happier now. I feel like I can keep some fish going in now, in the net, and have a nice ending to the match. Hopefully, I mean the weights they've been catching here have been massive, so the way I'm catching is going to be nothing like that, but you don't know, you never know. It might just be fishing a little bit harder today and the weights might be a lot lower, you never know. Yeah, because it's all different distances out, if you know what I mean. So you've got to pick your spot. Um, 60 odd pound with, what's there to go? 2.5 hours to go, so we've got ages, haven't we, you know? Yeah, even if I just caught like this to the end, yeah, I'd still have a decent weight, but what I'm hoping is that it just gets better and better, you know? It's quite tricky to flick that in there properly. What you want is like an edge of a tree or something like that. That's pretty uniform, but what I am quite surprised about though is no muggers today. Like, it's really warm and hot and bright. Like, I thought there'd be a load of muggers, but maybe they're too busy feeding on the bottom, maybe. But what I'm doing, I'm just trying to work hard as I can, feeding my short line, feeding my edge line, feeding my casters, and then just keep rotating. I think when you draw a really strong peg, you don't have to work so hard on your other lines because you catch on 1 or 2 lines so well. But when you draw the weaker pegs, it's very important to just keep working really hard, trying to get all your other lines primed up so you can drop in on them, nick 1 or 2 and then move again. That seems right now, doesn't it? And the thing is, the longer I can catch on a line, the longer I'm priming up my others. So when I drop on my other lines, they're better. It all goes hand in hand, you know. Fishing ain't a complicated game, you know, when it's all right. It's when you go in on a line and you have to move off a line within 5 minutes, you've not let your other lines build up. But when you can drop in and catch 5 or 6 like I have then, all my other lines have had so long of me priming them up that when I go in on them, you'll probably catch 5 or 6, you know? It all goes hand in hand. Yeah, it'll be alright. But to be honest, mate, it doesn't really matter too much what I catch. I'm having a lovely day out with one of my old mates. Having a bit of a chat this morning, weren't we? And yeah, that's it, yeah. You keep going on about getting the ice creams in, but I haven't seen anything yet. No evidence of any ice cream coming my way. So, fed twice, fed my edge, fed my short line, flick your rig out, plop it in right against that cover. Ooh, that would have been nice, but not quite. That seems to be the way across there. You feed before you ship out, and the first swing in, if you get it dead right, you seem to get a bite every time. Might have to just shallow that off a touch. I set at 12 inches, but I've got a feeling they're coming up a little bit higher than that. Just a 6mm in the band, 6mm. Hard pellet. But if I just keep feeding this edge and this short line and just keep rotating things. So I feed once, feed twice, and then if I get this first little plop in there right, hopefully if a duck's not in there, come on duck. No bite. A little swirl right in my bait then, which is a good sign. I fired my bait out and just had a little swirl. Might just try slapping it in a bit better. Yeah, oh, that seemed better. So what I've done then, instead of like underarm plopping it, because I saw a swirl right in where my casters are landed, I just turned my rig over right in the middle of where the bait is and not worried too much about having the pellet close to the cover, and literally straight away, that's where you saw it. Well, the ones I've caught, oh, that's a bit better, but the ones I've caught mostly like 3 to 4 pound. Well, that's like a 5 pounder. Yeah. I can see why they catch like £300 here on the right day. But this is a lot nicer now, like you can just see, like it all just comes together when you start catching well on A-line, you know. You start being a little bit more aggressive with bait elsewhere then as well. If I can get those casters in there grouped really nice, right on the edge of that, get those ducks feeding. That's really important that you get ducks feeding in your peg. Just going to plop it in there once. Come on now. I started to get the vibe that you lost your faith in me, and then it's all coming together now, mate, isn't it? Known you long enough now. Don't doubt me. Nice fishing though, that, isn't it? Loose feeding casters, fishing with a little dibber and that. So, how long we got left now then, mate? We've got an hour and 25 left. It's been a bit frustrating. Like, I've had a decent run shallow, but they're quite small. And I'm not going to lie, the fish have been very difficult to get out. Basically, on this peg, I've got a tree on that far bank and a tree on the near bank. And they definitely know there's a tree on the far bank and a tree on the near bank as well. So basically I've had to power all my elastics up, tighten everything up, so that it don't go in the trees, and then I've lost some at the net as well, because obviously my elastic's so tight. So a bit of a frustrating time, but I'm getting plenty of bites now. I had a good run shallow on those casters, but I think, to be honest, I'm going to have to just fish short and in the edge to the end now, because there's quite a bit of hassle involved with fishing shallow across there. First of all, getting them away from the cover that I'm fishing to, then getting them away from that tree, and then getting them in once I got them to the net. So it's quite a bit of hassle fishing across there. So I'm probably just going to fish short and in the edge to the end. Problem is, I know I keep banging on about it, I know, but it is a little bit deep down there. Like, I'm throwing my bait in and I feel like the fish are coming into my peg, but they're coming in off the bottom. If it was like 20 inches deep, or 24 inches deep, that was a bit better. That's a bit nicer now. But hopefully we'll have a good last 90 minutes. Go home. No, mate, you just got to keep calm, ain't you? There ain't a lot you can do. Like, I've got the gear on to get the fish away from the snags. Now all you got to do is take your time when you get it to the net, you know? So, we come back in off that shallow line. I caught 3 or 4 down the edge. But that was a little bit funny. They kept coming in off the bottom. And I thought, I better just drop in short before going back out shallow. And I've got to be honest, I've had the best run of the match. I've just caught 2, 3, 4, 5. I've just caught £20 really quickly, literally in 5 chucks. So it will be nice if they just keep coming on that short line, because there seems to be a lot less ag there. No foul looking, no liners. When I go in the edge and throw bait, they seem to want to come in off the bottom. It's really weird. But I've got an hour and a bit left, hour and 10 left. I'm just going to have to fish short and in the edge, I think, to the end to keep, because there's just so much ag involved with fishing over there, just trying to get the fish in. I'm just going to try and keep an odd fish coming short and in the edge to the end. Hopefully just short, because it's not as snaggy, it's not as many foul lookers, it's just a lot nicer fishing short than it is in the edge. So yeah, hour and 5 to go. Hopefully hopefully I can keep ticking over and put a decent weight together. A bit bigger short as well. Maybe that's why it's not as much ag. When I was catching them shallow and catching them in the edge, they're a bit smaller, and when they are a bit smaller, they do tend to want to come off the bottom. When they get to this like 4-6 pound mark, sometimes they can be quite a lot easier to catch. Mental. I've never seen anything like it. It's like they've been fed on flipping steroids. They're mental, aren't they? I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting beat up today, like bad, like boom, boom, getting beat up. Like, they are absolutely making me look rubbish. It's not the best place to come for a live match, is it? They're making me look horrendous. Oh God. Yeah, just get one every chuck to the end short. That would be nice, but whether that'll happen or not, I'm not sure. Basically, I've got 3 lines where I feel like I can get some bites. Across, shallow, in the edge, and short. It's just what I've got to try and do is monitor it now on which line is the quickest. Yeah, lovely. 25 pound really, really quickly. Yeah, 6s. Well, I swapped to 4s because I didn't feel like I could get enough fish in my peg. And then when I fished 4s, I got more fish in my peg, definitely, but they were harder to catch. So I'd rather have less bites and less indications, but when I do catch them, they're in the mouth, less messing about. The problem is here, see, if I was to foul look a fish, it's like there's a very, very good chance you can lose your rig, because it'll either go through that tree, over there to that tree. So I just want to fish in a way that really gives me the best chance of not foul looking anything. But look, I've caught those 5 fairly quickly, and they've started to come in off the bottom here now. That seems to be the trait when with the edge and with short. When you go in, you have a good little run, and you don't foul look them, and they're coming in, they're eating off the bottom. And then as the line goes a bit funny, they start coming in off the bottom. Well, I thought my peg was just going to get better and better and better, but it got good and had a real good little spell, and then it's gone all funny again. I thought I'd be able to just nick a few off short and in the edge until the end, but I haven't been able to. I had to go back out shallow. But I'm thinking that I've just caught 3 shallow, so I'm thinking hopefully that would be enough time to rest my short and edge line, so when I go back in I can have a good last half an hour, if that makes sense. I'm just going to try and nick one more now, shallow, before coming back in I want to give myself like 25, the last 25 minutes fishing short and in the edge, because then that gives me an opportunity to have like a run like I did before. Do you know when I dropped in and caught £25 real quick? That gives me 25 minutes, gives me the capability to do that. 25 minutes is enough time to catch £25. And then hopefully if that happens, I'll end up with, well, if I can catch like another £20 in the last, that'll put me on like 140, 150. But I've got to catch that £20 yet. No, like the guys to my right are catching absolutely nothing. They're catching like literally nothing. I think they've probably got 30 or 40 pounds, so. Yeah, the difference is, right, when you drop in on a line here today, you catch like 2 or 3. And then you have to come off it. Like on the best days. On the best days you go in, you catch like 10. That's the difference. Since I caught that one so quickly, I had to put that in with my silvers because it's quite a small carp. Since I caught that one real quick, I'm just gonna have one more chuck shallow before coming back in. But I can see why they catch the big weights here though. Like that last little spell when I spoke to you, just dropped in, it's like clunk, clunk, like 4 to 5 pounders real quick. But this line's been good today though, this caster's shallow and that, it has been real good because it's filled like a gap. Because if I would have just thought to myself, oh, I'm just gonna fish short and in the edge, like you would have ended up with absolutely no fish in your peg. Like it's like when I've come to the point where I need to rest both these short lines, I can pick this up and catch 4 or 5 quite quickly. They are quite a bit smaller, mine. I've had a lot of like 2 pounders, but it does fill a gap though when you can't get a bite elsewhere. Quite good now, that, to be fair. They are quite a bit smaller though. Yeah. I've had to tighten my elastics all right up and do everything I possibly can to keep them away. It's another little one, that'll have to go in with my silvers. But it's decent though, mate. I've had plenty of bites today. You can't say I haven't had any bites, you know. Yeah, 120, something like that. Hopefully, if I can just have a good little run now to the end, make it like 140, 150. I think the guy up to my left on that end peg has absolutely emptied it by the sounds of things. Obviously I can't see him, so I don't know, but plenty of bites on this though. Just loose feeding casters, fishing with a 6mm hard pellet on the hook. Just making like, almost like I'm making quite a bit of noise with the casters going in, and I'm making even more noise with my hook bait in the middle of it. Right, so 2 minutes to go. I thought my peg would get stronger and stronger, and that has to be fair. Like, I've had my best run of the match the last 20 minutes. I dropped in short, caught 2 decent ones. I've just dropped in the edge and caught like 5 real decent ones. It's been frustrating at times, but really nice fishing. Like that short and in the edge fishing with 6 mils has been nice, and then that shallow fishing was good. It's a little bit difficult to get the fish out across, but it's still been decent. And what I've done in general, I've just bounced off my 2 short lines, a short kit and a number 3 short, just throwing 6 mils, and the same distance in the edge, just throwing 6 mils. And then when those 2 lines have gone a bit funny on me, I could drop out onto my shallow line where I've fed casters, and then that's been pretty decent. The only thing is with the caster line, the fish are like half the size of my 6 mil pellet line. So you've got to catch like twice as quick, and there's quite a bit of ag over there because there's loads of snags and stuff coming into the water. But these 2 lines have been a bit sporadical. Like sometimes you'll drop in on them and you'll get bites straight away, and then other times you'll drop in and it's not right. Like you get liners, foul lookers like that then. But it's been decent. Like I've struggled the first half of the match. The first half of the match was really a struggle. Like I had times where I can drop in on each line and not get any bites whatsoever. But the second half of the match has been a total different story. It's been really good, to be honest. The fish are a lovely stamping here. Really, really nice. I mean, I've caught them like 2-3 pound on shallow on casters and with a pellet on the hook, and then the fish I've caught on pellets in the edge and short have been like 4 or 5 pounders with them. I think I've had 2 that have got to be touching 10 pound as well. So, oh, that was a lovely little bite. It's been good. I don't know if there was anything else I could have done on the day. I'm not sure. The only thing I was thinking was maybe fed some casters in the edge somewhere to fish shallow, but I don't know if that would have been right. I'm not sure. I don't think I could have done anything else. My peg's too deep to go down the ground 8 and micros. Oh, there we go. End of the match. Wait for the last whistle. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that was the end of the match. Not gonna lie, frustrating at times. Going across, fishing against the bank with pellets was a complete and utter waste of time. Literally, I think every single fish I hooked across there, fishing in 26 inches on the bottom of hard pellets, has been foul looked. Complete waste of time. My shallower casters has been brilliant. Like mid-match, like the 4th hour of the match, that casters was really, really good. Like my short lines were okay, but you would go in, you nick 1 or 2 fish, and then you couldn't get any more bites, so that just filled the gap. That was really good. And then the last like 90 minutes or so, these 2 short lines have been brilliant, and if I never needed to, I could just drop back in on that short shallow line and catch some smaller fish. So yeah, it's been brilliant. I didn't click those last 3, so what would those last 3 gone like 18 pound? So if my clicking's about right, I reckon I got about 160, something like that, which is still a lovely day's fishing, you know. All the locals before the start said this is really not a good peg at all. 38 and 39 are the worst 2. But still been mint. Really, really nice. What I want to do before I go though, after I weigh in, I want to go and have a walk round, because literally I've turned up at the car park, walked through the little gate, and my peg's there, and this is the only part of the lake I've ever seen. So after the match, I want to weigh in, see what the other lads are caught. I think everybody's caught a load, to be honest. And then I want to go and have a little walk round, see what the actual venue's like. I've travelled, well, 250 mile round trip to come here. I don't want to come here, see one little bit of the lake and leave. So what I will do is go and have a little walk round. But yeah, not gonna lie, frustrating at times. Which carp on snake lakes can be very, very frustrating on times. But brilliant last 2 hours. And if you would have said to me after 3 hours you're going to catch 160, I would have said nah, not possible, because I just wasn't catching anything. So yeah, ended up, I reckon I got 160, unless my maths has gone totally wrong. I don't know. Mine, it's been hot, I'm a little bit dehydrated, my maths could have been really bad today. So yeah, but I'll give you a little catch up after I weighed in.
Best rig?
Best rig? So Edge, basically, shots have moved on that last one in the net, but best rig, the best line in general. I think the line where I've caught the biggest weight is the edge, and I fished a size 16 Matrix X6 to 016 hook length, 020 main line, a 0.2 stubby slim. Sorry, no, a 0.3 stubby slim because it was a little bit deeper, and they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 number 9s, and I've just strung them out 2 inches apart. 0.3 stubby slim, 1.8 bristle, 0.8 carbon, and then I fished the 14 to 16 slick. But what I had to do at the start, I've hooked a few and it was just set nice, and they've just literally rammed straight through those trees and took my rig. I knew that they looked like a bit of a rig taker, so what I've had to do was just ping it right up. Like, you can't, it's like a lot tighter than normal. So yeah, that's been my best rig. I fished exactly the same rig short, but I fished a 0.4 stubby slim instead of a 0.3 because it's a little bit deeper. So yeah, not complicated stuff at all. I'm glad I went for the X6 to 016 though. I was a bit like that, I don't know what sort of hooks and hooks lengths to fish, but I'm glad I stepped everything up and went for the stronger stuff, because an X5 to 014 today just wouldn't have been man enough. I've had a few where I've hooked them and you get them into the middle part of your peg, and then all of a sudden they just swim off and they like go through that tree, go through this tree. The fish were fighting so hard today, but they did at Hayfield on Saturday. They just fought really, really hard. I think because the sun's out, the water's not clear here. It is at Hayfield, it's very, very clear. So that's why I think they fought hard there, but they're just fighting really, really hard. I think they're just healthy fish. They obviously get fed a lot of bait, a lot of pellets go in here. I think they're just healthy, strong fish. So messing about with like the orange slick 014 X5s today wouldn't have been right. I'm really glad I tied up the 16 X6, 016, 14 to 16 slick and pinged it right up. So yeah, it's been good. I really want to come back. I would love to come back, because I just feel like there's certain pegs, like the guy peg to my left looks incredible. That peg down there, they got all the weeping willows going into the lake. It all just looks brilliant. So I feel like I haven't really seen the best of the lake with this peg here today, and I've still had a great day. So yeah, gonna have a little walk round, and one thing for sure is that I will definitely be back. So the results are in. I've ended up third on the day. I thought when I weighed 170 that probably wouldn't be enough today, because last weekend there was 3 300s, but they had a little bit more room. Rich Bub has won it. Off peg 58, he's had 191 and there was a 177. I've had 170, so close match. I mean, I've hooked enough to win the match, but I think most people have had a similar problem. The fish have just fought so hard today. Rich's peg has been quite snaggy as well. He reckons he's lost £100. I haven't lost anything like £100. So yeah, it's been a brilliant day. Third on a brand new venue I've never seen before. It's brilliant. Really happy with that. Thanks to Joe Carras, some great venue info. Everything he said was just absolutely perfect. So yeah, really good day. Looking forward to coming back.